So starting off from last week, we see Obito is being taken over by Madara, and he's being forced to bring Madara back to life with the Rinnegan. And pretty much everyone's like, let's just fucking attack Obito. You know, fuck Madara right now. We're just going to stop the person bringing him back. And everyone tries to attack, and it's pretty much an excuse for everyone to do a big attack, which is awesome because who do we have on standby right now? We have pretty much everybody on the
essentially, yeah. You got Naruto, you got Sasuke. Sasuke really shines this week. Mm-hmm. He gets to use his brand new summoning snake, Aota, who's actually climbing its way up the Juubi's body. But the Juubi's able to actually have these like hands come out from its body that can grab the snake, and Sasuke orders him to go ahead and disappear. And then he immediately summons his Susanoo technique, which comes out, and he brings out his giant arrow and starts firing that right at Obito. But Obito has those black chakra rods that explode out of his arm, and they deflect the technique. It's a lot of really cool action that I'm hoping when they actually get to the anime version of it, they're able to make it look really fluid and nice, because it's all one big solid motion of action that's pretty damn cool. And Sasuke really is the one who steals the show this week. Naruto doesn't really get to do too much. He's mostly in the background.
Wait!
But sort of in Naruto's steed, though, it's Minato Namikaze who really gets to steal the show after Sasuke. He actually gets to come in and attack Obito. And they do have these flashbacks that they do insert in right here before it happens, which is a little unnecessary. I was talking to Christian beforehand. Maybe they could have inserted more action for the other characters. Maybe they could have shown Naruto, doing something. But, this is an important moment because we had to have the confrontational moment between both Minato and Obito. Mm-hmm. And it is pretty intense. He actually cuts, right through him. There's this huge, swath of blood, exploding into the sky. It's pretty brutal for Naruto standards. And what's also really cool about this moment is Minato finally realizes that it was Obito that he was fighting against when he came to try and claim Kurama the Ninetales.
I like that they actually brought it back to the explanation of his seal was still on Obito.
Yeah.
So he summoned a clone to go get that person, which he assumed was the man in the mask. And then as he attacks him, he understands it's Obito. And I love that backstory that they're still using that. And it's also, I didn't really realize that the fourth Hokage could send clones through his seal. So I thought that was really cool and kind of makes him a lot more brutal, especially that he can send them through Ninetales mode. Mm-hmm. And they just I don't know, all that blood this week was kind of crazy for a Naruto chapter.
I mean, it's not to say we haven't had violent chapters before. I mean, the very origin of Obito is there.
Everything to do with Obito. But
it's the impact of knowing these characters and their pasts and everything finally culminating together that sort of makes this moment really, really important. And what is interesting to note are little details here, like when Obito's using the Rene no Jutsu, you get to see that his hair is slowly changing from black to white, kind of when Nagato was using his technique. Exactly. And it almost looks like that he is going to finish this technique and actually bring Madara back to life. But since Minato actually decided to attack him, the technique has been stopped. And what's weird about this is Madara doesn't really seem bothered by it at all. He's just
he's kind of
big deal, whatever. I don't get to be the Jinchuurikki. I'm still an immortal zombie. No big deal. Whatever. But
speaking of
Jinchuurikkis.
Yeah, pretty much Obito just immediately sucks up all of the Ten Tails, and then the last panel with, there's a little bit of disposition of everyone whoa, what's happening? Everything's shrinking. But then it cuts to the last panel of Obito holding half of his face, which used to be the Black Zetsu, and there's this weird wood crackling sound around him, and it looks like he's absorbed the Ten Tails and become the Jinchuurikki of it. And that's what we're left with. And we had some immediate questions about this because that last panel, you can't really see how big Obito is. You can't really put it in perspective because it still kind of looks like Naruto and everyone's being grabbed. So is he just a big being with Obito's face
I don't know. I like how you compared it to Akira.
Yeah.
Before we were watching all the hands coming in.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. I have no idea what this brand new form of Obito looks like because the final panel is a really huge close-up shot. It's this right here and you're like, what the fuck am I looking at? And I'm sure it's going to be really interesting looking. I like that you were mentioning earlier that it's probably not going to be like the initial form of the Ten Tails. It's probably going to be something completely new.
Yeah.
And until we actually see it next week, we can't really make a full judgment on this yet because it can end up looking really, really badass or it can end up looking really, really stupid. But still, it was a pretty fun chapter. I think the biggest thing about this one is the twist. I thought that Obito was going to die. I thought that...
I didn't at all,
I can understand that, though. Yeah. I understand why a lot of people didn't think Obito was going to die, because he still has to have, sort of the talk no jutsu moment. We got to go through the whole backstory and everything. What I do like, though, is that he's kind of, fuck Madara, I'm going to do this thing on my own now. And it's just, that's great. It really shows how messed up and how far he's willing to go. Even after all of this stuff has been shown to him, even after seeing the flashbacks of Rin and young Kakashi and everything, it's just... he's a man on a mission.
He's like, no, I'm seeing this one through. He's like, that's my purpose. Something I'd like to see next week is now that Obito is the Jinchuurikki of the Ten Tails, I'd really like to see him give a whooping to Madara, especially kind of like as Madara was like trying to kick him in the pants on the way out the door, you know, and use him. I think it'd be really awesome if he actually like whoops out addition on Madara, and all the good guys are like, so I guess we'll just, you know, wait till this is over and then we'll clean up the mess.
No, you're right. If there's one thing Madara needs, is to be knocked down a peg or two.
Yes.
There's never really been any instances I've seen in the series where he's been able to just be humbled by the fact that he's not the most powerful thing in existence. And I think that time is definitely coming in Obito. I want him to whip his ass too. I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
So what about a score this week?
I like this chapter, but I also, it feels like, I don't want to say more of the same, but I feel like we're still going down a predictable pathway. And no, I don't mean the Obito thing. I just feel like things are just happening like I'd expect them to in the war. So I only say an 8 out of 10 on this one.
I'm going to agree with you, 8 out of 10. And the only reason it's kind of saving that is for that twist that came at the end. I really thought this was going to be the end of Obito. I really, really did think that. I'm not going to jump on that bandwagon and be like, oh, I knew Obito was going to be alive. I thought legitimately he had his time. The whole thing with Kakashi at the end last week was perfect. So I thought this was great because Madara's getting screwed over, and I think that's fantastic. Oddly enough, it's by another Uchiha. So there it is, 8 out of 10.
Wait, whoa. Before you go, can you please give us a thumbs up before you go? Because that would be really awesome. It helps our videos out a lot. And also, I would like to recommend a video for you guys to watch. And that is the music video Trapped by Sam Tea Time. I was the camera operator for this music video, and we worked really hard on it. And it'd be awesome if you guys would go check it out and leave a comment about what you liked about it. So, yeah, Corey, what about your video?
Guys, I just released a brand new segment in my Super Smash Bros. Wii U and 3DS character wish list. My character this time is Slippy Toad from Star Fox. I know a
Wait,
very...
What?
Yes. Slippy Toad, yeah, the one who's really fucking annoying and always gets in your way.
Crazy.
Yeah, I want that character to be in Smash Brothers. If you want to hear why, you should make sure and check out that video, give it a thumbs up, and as always, guys, make sure and subscribe. That concludes this review today. We'll see you next time. Super Comic Guru 9000, out.